So this is an introduction to our brow point and our intuition. And I just want to talk a little bit about why it is so important to be aware of our intuition and how to use it. A lot of us are actually thinking we're using our intuition, but it is still our programmed mind. It's still what we feel, and it could even be the gut instinct or an old program that used to feel safe. So why is it so important to acknowledge our intuition and work with it, and how do we do that? So today's class is about that, and that's why I'm making this video for the yoga students. But I also teach this in workshops and in one-on-one sessions, and that's why I want to just talk about it as a general information background talk. So the intuition is basically a wonderful tool that we all have, which can give us powerful insights that the intellect cannot give. The intellect is very, very limited, and it's actually meant to be our tool. So when we tap into our intuition, we enter something of a higher consciousness. We enter something that is beyond logic, that is beyond books, and that is not necessarily rational. But it always works to our advantage, because our intuition is unique for us. So someone else's intuition will guide them, your intuition will guide you. And that's really important as well, because often we try to get clarity by talking with other people, and what might work for someone else and be incredible might totally not work for you and actually have devastating effects on you. So in our lives, we have unique purposes, we have unique patterns, unique challenges. And because we have also unique gifts and unique callings, it is impossible to have one answer that will fit everybody. And that's kind of common sense, right? But at the same time, we try to fit in, we try to connect with our friends, we try to do similar things, which is part of our need to fit together and to communicate and to learn from each other, which is also a layer to it. So our intuition will serve us if we honor it, and it is there for all of us. You may have trusted it in the past and decided that because someone talked you out of it, to learn to ignore it. Maybe your intuition was going to take you to amazing places. It was going to make you super powerful and very successful, and take you to places where maybe your family wasn't so happy about, but it would have served in the end. And so you learned perhaps to ignore it. Because when we trust our intuition, we have to take a leap of faith as well. And that's why I highly recommend a daily meditation at a bare minimum, morning and night, ideally, even if it is just 5 minutes. Better the deeper, make it 20 minutes, so you enter the deeper states of consciousness to get through those layers of the mind that can interfere with your intuition and send you the wrong message. So to lead a life of clarity, really meditation is essential, and the purpose of meditation is to get clarity, peace, inner knowledge that is perfect for you, and some call that knowing or intuition, whatever you want to call it. It's the same sort of thing. It's an amazing guidance system. The way to tap into it is to slow down your breath, is to focus at the brow point. So the brow point is the point between your eyebrows, and you can use it inwardly as you focus. So your eyes are closed and you're focusing straight ahead and slightly upwards. And the more you focus on that point, the more you will start to experience different states of consciousness. You might see light, you might not see light, you might see different colors, because it is a visionary point, and it is about your focus in life. So it's about being able to focus on what you want, what's important, being able to have the capacity to stay with that focus and not to keep coming off track. So that is part of a developed intuitive center and part of your yoga practice, if you're going to follow that and enjoy that. And the yogis have mastered this. And so focusing at the brow point, slowing down that breath so that thoughts will become less common, less erratic, so that you can tap into your stillness. So you can tap into what is called the observer state, which all of us have as well. And basically, in a nutshell, that means that you will tap into that center of consciousness, which is completely overridden if you have a very busy mind. If you have been traumatized, or you like to think and survive through analysis and the rational mind, it is harder to activate your intuition in terms of really honoring it, letting it flower, but also acknowledging it and hearing its tone, hearing its type of messaging that it gives you. So the breath will slow down for this practice as much as possible. Of course, the yoga beforehand is what is meant to prepare you for meditation and intuitive awareness, which is why in my holistic yoga, we do the body work, the stretches, the kriyas, and then we meditate to get those answers that may have been harder to reach in an everyday life situation. And, you know, the unconscious is programmed to prefer predictability, to prefer to keep you the same because it considers that safe. So it is really, really important, in my opinion, to notice that so that you don't kid yourself into thinking, oh yeah, I'm very intuitive. Oh yes, I'm listening to my intuition, because even the intellect can sneak its way into feeling that that's an intuition. The way to overcome that is to notice what the message is like. Is the message empowering? Is it undramatic? Is it something that is a feeling that feels just right, but maybe also slightly, oh, I'm not sure, when the intellect comes in, feels a little bit threatened because the intellect who wants to, or the old idea, the id or the ego that wants to keep you the same, to keep life predictable, because that's the program of it. If it feels a little bit uncomfortable, that's probably a good sign, because change often feels uncomfortable. New information often feels uncomfortable. What will my friends think? You know, will my family still love me? How will I take the next steps? So balancing that and getting into it is it's really a process and a daily practice. It's a dedication and a choice. I choose to be intuitive. When you are intuitive and enhance your intuition, you can take quantum leaps. You can have insights that no one else has. You can discern more better in terms of, you know, do I trust this person? Do I trust this article? Do I trust this teacher? Do I go out today, or is it better to rest? Is it better today to run at the beach, or is it better today to just dance in the kitchen? Is it good for me to fast today? Or is it better for me to have something wholesome to nurture myself and ground myself? All those things nobody else can answer for you. People may try, and they might take notes and try to figure you out. But even to that degree, you change from day to day. Even if you have the most amazing practitioner, how do they know what you need a week later? You have to find your own way bit by bit so that you can navigate each day and learn from how that feels, what your body feedback is, what your intuition is guiding you. When you look at a strawberry and you see the beauty of that particular strawberry and the redness, and your body is responding to that and salivating, trust that and go, hey, you know, even if it's expensive, that's what my body needs. And that nutrition through your intuition is supporting you today in your nervous system, with your digestion, with a vitamin that you need. And then it will save you time by keeping you healthy, for example, feeling that attunement with your body-mind connection and your intuition. So it is really huge, and I promise you, it saves you a lot of time, anguish, problems, disease, if you are in tune with your intuition. Even choosing the right doctor if you're going to go and see a doctor. Even choosing the right moment to say something. When you're in tune with yourself and your highest purpose through your intuition, that becomes a beautiful way to navigate. And you will catch yourself questioning your intuition. That's normal. You will question yourself wondering, oh, can I trust it? Was that my intuition or not? A lot of people ask me that. How do I know if it's my intuitive awareness or not? The best way to know that is if you meditate regularly, because you will get a similar message, number one. And number two, recognizing how intuition feels. It's not, you know, it's never stressful and it's never outrageous. It has a sense of a knowing, almost a calm inspiration to it. It's a quality that is hard to describe in words. It's a new sense that if it's not fully developed, or if it's overwhelmed with feeling insecure through the lower centers, or if it's kind of polluted through heart chakra issues of unworthiness perhaps, or having been hurt, then that self-doubt will creep in very easily. It's a very slippery thing. So that's why working all the centers is important, being grounded, working with your flow, your solar plexus, opening the breath, your heart, your throat, your truth, and then delving into the intuitive combination on top of that, and eventually the crown consciousness is really just the most powerful thing you could do. So it is a commitment, and are you committed? Do you want to be in touch with your intuition? Do you want to be empowered and have a knowing? Or are you comfortable getting your guidance through others, paying a psychic or a doctor or someone else, a naturopath, whatever it is, which is great. But they also have off days. They also don't always know everything. They can't know what you can know about you, your cycle, your emotion, your past, what your gut is telling you, what your intuition is guiding you towards, your inner faith, the placebo effect within you. Because if you believe in your intuition and you start listening to it, it becomes better and better. And you could argue that's a placebo effect, yes? Because you can't separate what you believe from what you create and what you end up aligning with. But the question is, what came first? The awareness or the belief or the recognition of your truth? And again, you will notice that as you breathe in slowly, and I teach this a lot, I even have YouTubes and videos about that, taking the breath slow. I even have stuff like that on my website, really nice courses about the chakras, about breathing, and easy 3 methods for meditation that you could just put on. I think they're only either 10 minutes or 5 minutes. I wanted to make them slow and simple, powerful, effective, and not taking up a lot of time. Because the intellect will make an excuse, I don't have time. I also made them cheap. So the excuse to not have money is also there, that you can't fall into that. And so, yeah, you can really transcend, and then you can go deeper and deeper. And let me know how you feel. So breathing slowly, focusing at the brow point. Remember, as you gaze up, you will start to activate your pituitary gland. As we use the intuition and use that brow point chakra, we will balance the pituitary. And if you look that up, that is responsible for so many of your hormones. The hormonal axis is massively influenced by that. A lot of your happiness comes from the pituitary activation, the expansion of consciousness, which is where peace is. When we are contracted and intellectual, we cannot have peace because we constantly have to justify ourselves. We constantly have to look for, a feedback in our environment that we're right, because we're not in touch with our real feeling of truth. So activating those hormones, these feel-good hormones, this expanded sense of consciousness, this intuitive knowing, is priceless. Absolutely priceless for your navigation of your life. And I want nothing more than for you to be empowered, to trust yourself, to shine your light, to be who you are. So downward poses are great, focusing on your forehead. There's meditations where you bring your brow point and your thumb area together. There's just, circling here where you become aware of that area by circling with your fingers gently and doing that for 3 or so minutes and really breathing slow and tuning in. Those exercises really are effective. And so many more. Feel free to contact me, to ask me what works well, where my teachings are on YouTube or on my website or in my classes or private classes as well. I make it easy and effective. I satisfy your intellect by understanding how it works and also help you to relax and trust into your intuition. And if you have barriers around it, we can release those fears around trusting your intuition. Okay, have a beautiful moment, and I love to see you in class or in sessions. Feel free to ask me questions anytime. I love all this stuff. Ciao for now.